So we will now begin our 12 p.m. Getting on Board with Boards session. Please welcome my wonderful Executive Director, Dr. Angelia Smith-Wilson.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. And thank you so much, Recovery Community, for joining us at the 6th Annual Recovery Conference. We are super, super, super excited. Allison thanked all of our sponsors and all of our volunteers. I want to say a special thank you to Bevy and Educate Me, who is hosting our technology and our platform today. It is kind of a Zoom-like atmosphere. So you have today to get acquainted with the software, with being able to move from the lobby to the agenda, to the stage, to the networking, to the booths. Make sure you go visit the lobby so that you have information there as well. And also we have a special photo booth. So if someone could pull up my PowerPoint, we could get started. I want to say that many of you are quite aware of the work that For New York does around community mobilization and building capacity around community members, getting information, spreading information, collecting information about starting recovery centers. And so one of the other things that we are quite responsible for is also helping individuals around that leadership capacity. So I have a very, very short, about 15-minute, 20-minute talk with you today. So I want to talk about the importance of getting on board with boards. And it doesn't look like anyone probably pulled that up. So let me see if I can pull that up myself. Oh, Allison?
Thanks, Angelia. I'm going to do it right now.
Okay. All right. Let's say okay. So getting on board with boards. And this is exclusively, it's not exclusively geared towards youth and young adult. It's really kind of geared towards it's really kind of geared toward any and everyone. But one of the things that we wanted to be able to focus on is youth board development and being able to speak to youth in their capacity around, what are boards and how do you get on boards? Just a couple of statistics. I'm not sure if you're aware, but 6 out of 10 board members on any given board are predominantly white and female, and all within a certain age group. So boards are really, so I have up here, what are boards and why should we care? These are some of the things that boards do for organizations. And I will talk a little bit about why you should care. But I'll go back to my statement with regards to who boards are made up of. We are, I guess it's safe to say, at an all-time shortage of diversity on certain boards. And so that's why, it's very important that we bring this information to the recovery community. A lot of you have skill sets that you could walk onto a board and bring those skill sets. And in particular, young people, young folk, you have skill sets that you could be bringing to organizations, because boards are important because they provide governance and policy directions for not-for-profits and even for-profits. Some boards, for-profit boards, there are even some stipends. So young people or anybody in general could possibly earn a very small stipend. Not so much in the not-for-profit world, but in the for-profit world. Boards kind of help establish organizational bylaws and constitutions, which help to ensure that an agency is acting within the scope of what they can do and have a sense of integrity around the work that they do. Boards also provide strategic planning for organizations. I mean, you need that. Organizations need to know their direction, what's their niche, where are their resources, how do they develop. The other thing is they set organizational standards so that the staff and others are not just no one's going rogue. So the organization is kind of grounded by the board of directors or the board. They also assist in the development of values, very much like your own personal values. And we'll talk a little bit about the alignment of your own personal values with some of the organizations. Boards set these values for organizations. They also, a very, very key thing that they do is the approval of the financial management and the accounting. Board members act as these fiduciary overseers, which is very, very important to solidifying the validity and the authenticity of the work that you do, and having clean audits and clean financial accounting is very, very important. And boards help to ensure that that is done. Next slide, please. So, and you should care about all of these things because of, you're wanting to give back, right? You're wanting to align yourself with an organization that is going to be committed. So the next slide is, let me see, I can't pop it up. Are you able to advance to the next slide? See, we're getting all of these glitches out. So it's one more. You got to go one more before that. There you go. I see the clicker. Nope. It's the third slide. So it's asking, what do board of directors do? It's the steer. There it is. What's the role of the board of directors? They steer the ship, right? They ensure that the organization is moving on as it should be. Next slide. So very, very, very important. What else do? They build organizations and they build people. Our primary focus here today is on leadership. And boards help to do that. They help to form leaders, and they help you with your leadership capacity building. Why? Because sometimes you might have to chair a committee. You might have to take on a task where you will be asked to, start from the beginning and go all the way to the end. You may have to pull together a team. You may have to help with grant writing. You may have to help with fundraising. So boards help to build organizations, but more importantly, or just as equally important, they help to build leadership capacity within you. And that is very, very important. Next slide, please. So one of the things that, what are the benefits? I understand that they'll help with building some leadership capacity. But for me individually, like what does that look like? And in particular, this is for our young folk, right? Particularly those between the ages of 25 and I would say 31. The folks that talk about their brand and what does that look like? I'm going to tell you, boards help to build your personal brand. You cannot see this slide, and I apologize for us not being able to kind of make that a little bigger, but you if you want, I can certainly give you these slides. They're not like, top secret, but I will just take a moment to kind of go through what's the personal brand and why is that important? Well, in terms of being able to market yourself, board membership help you to be able to do that. And the diversity of boards that you become members on, they kind of speak to what's important to you, and they kind of speak to your branding, right? So the screen, the kind of wheel that you see talks about personal marketing, self-marketing, and your personal branding, and how all of these things kind of work together to make you be able to market yourself by being on boards. And so what you will have on boards is a diverse group of individuals. So we can go to the next slide. Another benefit of being on a board. So first you have personal branding. It will help with your personal branding. The other thing is the intellectual exchange. Boards are typically made up of a diverse group of individuals, and that's very important. You just don't want diversity in terms of ethnicity, but you certainly want that as well, but you want that because that also brings diversity of thought, of perspective, of realities, right? And you need that because all of that helps to make up intellectual good exchange, right? And so boards are like these mini think tanks for organizations. When the board members all get together, and they all the one thing that they share is they want to advance this organization. They want to advance this agency, right? So that's at the middle of what they do. But surrounding all of that is this discourse that happens as you talk about bylaws and constitutions and development of an organization and planning programming. So what you have is you have access to this intellectual exchange that really adds again to your personal branding and brings on more of this information from the think tanks as well as resources. So what do I mean by the intellectual exchange with resources? Well, you may have a board member that was connected to a state agency as the medical director, right? And he may bring a host of information with regards to resources that you may not even have thought about, right? And as well as advances in the field that has not hit the field yet, emerging practices, best practices, some practices that are kind of moving away from the field. So you have this intellectual exchange of information as well as solid resources, right? So you can't get any better than in terms of looking at the benefits of being on a board when you look at it in terms of individual capacity building. Okay, next slide, please. So how do you find the right opportunity? How do I know where to go? How do I know which board is right for me? Do I need a surfboard, a checkerboard? That's where the room would rupture in laughter, but I know you're laughing. But how do you find the right opportunity? Well, look at finding your own super passion. What are you passionate about? What do you sometimes, at the end of the week go, you know what, I can't continue to allow this to happen. I need to be in this fight. I need to be advocating for this. This has affected me and, someone close to me. So I need to be in this. So finding your super passion, because you will find that your energies will wane at some times. So passion keeps you in the game, right? Matching organizations, mission, vision, and values with your own. They generally need to align for the work to progress, right? And for you not to become disheartened with the work that you do. Look, a local or national boards. A lot of individuals say, well, I want to be in a national board. How do you do that? No worries. I'm going to point you in the right direction to how you even look for these kind of national board jobs. Okay. And so what do I do? How do I find this information? Well, you can visit the website of your favorite organization or causes. They will generally have a section there, or way at the bottom of their website, they may have a section around board and board membership and all of those things with regards to when they're recruiting for board members. You can also contact the board chair, and you can inquire about board membership directly. You can contact the organization. You can ask the receptionist, I'm interested in, or the person who answers the phone, or the program person is usually whoever coordinates all of the programming usually will know it's going to be connected to that, as well as the development person is generally connected to board membership as well. And then you just apply for board membership. Next slide, please. All right. So board opportunities. I don't know, Allie, if I won't have access to click that first BoardNet USA. Let's see if we can, we're going to try our best. We're trying all this stuff out. So, as the conference go, we would have mastered it. Okay. Well, even if we don't get there, you will have it in the PowerPoint. That clip was, it kind of went off, Allie. The PowerPoint went off. If you can just go back to that. Oh, fabulous. This is BoardNet USA, folks. This is where you go when you're looking for a board opportunity. You can just scroll down. You can put in information. You can look at who's looking for boards and all of those things. You can also go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn has information where they recruit for board members as well. But what I found is that BoardNet USA, not-for-profit board matching, is probably going to be the most diverse. BridgeSpan is another board matching opportunity company that works with when you're looking for board members. These are national, right? So where are you going to get that local flavor? The local board opportunities are definitely going to probably come from your LinkedIn, right? I was not a big fan of LinkedIn. Hopefully LinkedIn is not watching, or no one's I was not a big fan of LinkedIn. Really, it was actually my son. My son, when he was maybe early 20s, was saying, look, you got to get on LinkedIn. You got to get on LinkedIn. And I was like, enough of me is out there. I don't want to give any more information, but I will tell you, once I got into LinkedIn, I'm still not as kind of current as I should be, but lots of board development articles and board, when people are looking for boards, they put that information there on LinkedIn. But BoardNet USA is probably going to be your most expansive. Okay. So, how do we wrap it up? I wrap it up by saying the presentation talked about do's, don'ts, and the forbidden. The forbidden is you not even putting your foot in the water. Okay. You have got to get on board. If you've got to get on board with getting on boards. If you are a true advocate, a true champion of causes, then hey, let's put some action where your words are, and let's start to look at board development, because you are needed. Young people are needed. People of color are needed. And diverse incomes are needed. People think, oh, I have to have all of these resources. Your raw talent amounts to dollars, and you bring that to a board as well. So I want to say thank you. Not a lot of time to ask questions, but you can certainly put those in the chat. And throughout today, when we're back here in the main stage, I can try to answer some things, or we can, as the conference progresses, we'll be in certain places at certain times, and you can certainly ask. This was a quick presentation just to awake your advocacy, just awake the advocacy in you, and let you know about boards and getting on board. Oh, and there's my hook. So I will turn it back over to Allison. Thank you, guys.